Hey, how you doing? This is Dexter with Russo's Reptiles, and today we are going to go over the cons of owning a boa constrictor. So this is Akasha again. She's helping me out one more time. We just did the pros. Now we're going to do the cons. It was actually really hard for me to come up with cons. I don't know. I had trouble. So number one, caging, enclosures. I don't like to say the word caging. I like to say enclosures. Enclosures are expensive. Now, yes, you can get away, and I do it. I use grow-up tubs. There's nothing wrong with that. Just so you know that that is not a permanent deal. That is temporary. It's the same as a quarantine. It's so much easier to just put them in a quarantine tub that's large enough for them to live in for the first year or two, and then you put them in their permanent enclosure. Now, if you have a single boa and you're not trying to build a collection, then yeah, go ahead and buy the permanent enclosure and be done with it. It's gonna cost you a couple $100. Sometimes it's gonna cost you more than the snake, depending on what kind of snake you get or what kind of boa you get. Spend the money, get it done right. If you don't have the money at the time, go get the boa, the bin, the Rubbermaid tub from Walmart. It's free, $4, and set up your quarantine, your grow out tub. And while you're waiting, go ahead and get the permanent enclosure ready. Yeah, so that's a con. Caging can be expensive, especially if you start getting into a bigger collection. Then you're looking at racks possibly, and that, I don't even want to talk about freedom breeder stuff, how expensive that is. Another con would be getting bit. Does it suck? Not really. I've been bit a couple times. It's really not bad at all. Honestly, it's more scary. The movement is more scary than the actual bite. The bite is nothing. Honestly, I think getting bit by like 20 ants at one time is worse than getting bit by a boa. Now, I haven't been bit by a large boa, but I have been bit, and it's not bad at all. But it is a con. It's a con for two reasons. One, if they bite and you pull away, you can damage their teeth and cause abscesses. And then also, it's not a behavior you want them to associate with you. So biting can be bad. Don't let them bite you, and keep it happening. Try if they're in a bad mood, leave them alone. I haven't been bit very often, but I have been bit. It's really way scarier looking than the actual bite or the pain or anything. But it's still a con. It can lead to health problems for your boa down the line. Urates are the devil. That goes back to our pros. Cleaning is not hard unless you don't get the urates. If you leave urates in overnight, they're like freaking concrete, and you will have to take a chisel and a hammer and let it soak for 2 days, and it's terrible. This shit is like quick concrete. If they go to the bathroom, quickly clean it. You'll save yourself a lot of scrubbing and disinfectant product later. Now this is probably the one of the big ones. Mites. I've never had mites. I do not want mites. I've seen the horror stories. I've seen, everybody talking about it. Mites sound terrible. What I do is, I'm sure some of you have seen my videos where when I receive a boa in from shipping, the first thing I do is I give it a bath. I let it drink clean water first. And then once they've been in the clean water for about an hour or so, and I feel like they're hydrated, I then replace that water with a little bit of Dawn dish soap and then refill it. Now what the Dawn dish soap does, it works the same way with fleas. If you have dogs and you have a flea issue, it basically smothers the mite or the little critter, and they die. And that's what you want. So if you get anything in a shipment or anything in new, do that. It'll help stop. It's a whole lot better than getting the pesticide sprays and spraying the shit out of all your enclosures. I don't do that because I don't have a need to do that, because I take care of it before they come in and then they go to quarantine, which is what you should be doing also. And another thing is, if you go to any shows, if you go to any reptile shows, please, please, please take your clothes off, throw them immediately in the washing machine, and take a shower. Trust me, because you don't want to go to a reptile show and you're handling bags of whatever substrate. I'm not going to throw a name out there. I don't want people yelling at me. But don't go touching bags of substrate and then picking up everybody's animals at all these different booths, because you probably have a mite on your shirt or on your clothes somewhere. You don't know about it, because those reptile shows are, they're havens for those things. They're everywhere. You've probably been to a show and seen a table with snakes having mites. So just do yourself a favor, put your clothes in the washing machine as soon as you get home and go take a shower. And don't go to your snake room. After you clean up, then you should be okay. And the last con of snakes, and this is probably my biggest fear, is electrical issues and fires. So a lot of people that don't handle these snakes or keep these snakes don't realize the amount of electrical stuff that goes into it. You got to have a little bit of instrumentation knowledge or electrical knowledge. That's what I do for a living. I do I&E work in an industrial setting, and so it's interesting to me setting up temperature probes and checking humidity and keeping track of all that stuff. It's interesting to me, but to the normal person, they're not used to doing that, and it scares me that I'll have a failure one day on, say, a thermostat, or something will short out, and all of a sudden I got a cooked animal, or I got a heat element that goes haywire and I have a fire. That is one of my biggest fears. So I would list that as a con. Not that it has happened to me, but I've heard other people losing some of their collection. Some people have lost whole racks. Some people have lost their entire collection, their whole building, their houses. So yeah, that would be a con to me. That's scary. So make sure you set up your electrical stuff correctly. You're not overdoing any circuits. You're buying good thermostats. You're checking all of your stuff weekly, making sure everything's plugged in well. Checking your temps with your heat gun, and build in redundancies. Don't just have one cheap ass thermostat running your entire shit. Have redundancies built in. Have good I lost the word. Surge protectors. Have good stuff like that. I have the sensor push. It's a little sensor that tells me my humidity and my temperatures on my phone when I'm not at the house. So if I get an alert and it's like, hey, your boa cage is like 100 degrees, what's going on? I could be like, oh shit, and call somebody and be like, hey, can you check and see what's going on? Or it'll be like, hey, your boa cage is at like 50 degrees, what's going on? Well, shit, my temperature, my heating element went out. I need to call somebody, or I need to get home and check whoa, where you going? Slow down, girl. I need to get somebody to check that. So that's a con for me. That keeps me up at night. That bugs me when I'm not home. That kind of stuff. But the 5 cons that I could come up with, and like I said, it was really hard to come up with these. Caging's expensive. Bites do happen. You'll be okay. Urates are the devil. Mites are the devil. And electrical fires are possible and scary. So, but yeah, this has been Dexter and Akasha. She's been a lovely assistant in the last 2 videos, and we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Go ahead and hit that like button, please. Please share these videos. Put these videos on your Facebook. Put them on your Instagram, whatever. Share them. hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys later.